Hi everyone. So I'm Leslie, and I'm the CTO of a legal tech startup company called AI. So nice to meet you all in this wonderful session on how to launch your AI journey. So I have spent more than 12 plus years in the field of AI, building a lot of AI tools. So I previously led the AI team at AstraZeneca, and I had the experience with Fortune 500 companies, so I had very good experience in building AI solutions, not just in the ChatGPT era, even before ChatGPT came. We built a lot of AI models from the scratch, LLMs. So I have a variety of experience, and my current company is a legal tech company focusing on deal making. And previously, I was with AstraZeneca, as you all know, it's a pharma company. And I also had experience with energy, utilities, telecommunication, and some other domains also. So I also uh, provide mentoring to students, and I have the passion that and belief that I should train the next generation of students and other enthusiastic people in the field of AI. So, very happy to meet you all today and uh, and have this session. So I'll just get started. Uh, so the AI revolution, right? So we are in the AI revolution. Why it really matters, right? So everyone is saying AI, AI, AI. It's become a marketing buzzword. And is it just a buzzword or is it really affecting everyone's life, right? But I hope everyone can nod their heads saying that, yes, AI is actually impacting our everyday life. So, already more than 77% of the devices has AI in it. And very soon we will have AI in almost everything that we use. It's gonna add, AI is probably gonna add like 15 plus trillion dollars in less than 5 years. And being an early adopter is gonna be a huge advantage for you. So if you learn AI today, it's gonna be a huge career advantage for you, and you are also going to use it wisely to make you more productive in your personal life, also in your professional life. So learning AI is a huge boost for you, and it's a must learn whether you are a student or you're a working professional. This is a very important, we are in a very important time period. Learning AI is really important. So there are three building blocks of AI. I'll just start with this. I will go back to the next slide and then I will touch back to these 3 points. So AI has three building blocks: data, model, and training. Okay. So mostly the word model that we use is used interchangeably with AI, LLMs, algorithms, etc. So the model is being trained on data. Okay. So have this in your mind. I'll go to the next slide and then I will come back and connect what this is about. But have this three words in your mind: data, model, and training. Okay. So what AI is, right? What AI is and what AI is now in very simple, clear, high level terms. Okay. So AI is actually just math plus data patterns. Okay. AI is not human brain. AI is, as you all know, it's artificial intelligence, which means it is trying to mimic human behavior through data points. The data points are the one which is fueling the AI models. Okay. AI, you know, is also used interchangeably with other words like machine learning, NLP, computer vision, deep learning. So all these words we together call as a aggregated term called AI. Okay. So let me dive deep into this math plus data patterns. Okay. So patterns are everywhere, right? Everything in the universe has a pattern. Every single living thing, non-living thing, species, even man-made thing has a pattern. There is a pattern in which the whole universe operates. So the pattern is, identifying the pattern, help us to infer a lot of things. So traditionally, we used maths to identify these patterns. Okay. So we started with numbers, then we created algorithms. We used math to identify this pattern. So let's say, imagine you want to record temperature in a particular city, okay, and you're going to record the temperature at every hour for the next 24 hours in a particular city. So you record and you end up with 24 data points, like one data point for every 1 hour, and you have like 24 data points. Now you analyze, you start looking at the data, and you suddenly see there is a pattern in it, right? There is a pattern where in the daytime the temperature slowly rises up, and then after a while the temperature drops, and then in the nighttime the temperature cools down. So this is what we call as pattern. There is a pattern in the data which we identify. How did we identify? We used math to identify that pattern. So this is what, all everything that we call AI can be explained using this simple example. How to use data which explains pattern using math. Okay. So this is what, on a very simple, I have to explain like a five. This is what my explanation of AI would be. AI is just math plus data pattern. Okay. Now, let me move to the next slide. Uh, so let me give you another point so that you can understand it more clearly. So we always think that AI is some magic or something, but it's not. So I want to just connect you back to the previous slide, which talked about data, model, and training. Okay. So traditionally, we used explicit programming to identify or program something. So let's say there is a ball in the right side of the room, in my room, and I want to create a robot saying that, hey, robot, stand up, go straight, turn right, and pick up the ball. This is explicit programming. You tell explicitly that what should be done. So let's say if the ball is on the left side of the room, now the program that I created will not work, right? Because I told that this is how you should do. Go straight, turn right. Now I have to write another program or code which tells stand up, turn left, go straight, and pick up the ball. So we traditionally built softwares in this way. We built softwares which explicitly told what the rules were. But our universe is more dynamic, right? We are not in a static world. Everything in the world depends on a lot of other dynamic factors. And it's impossible for us to go and identify every single pattern and explicitly program them. So what we did was we recorded all this data, just like we recorded the temperatures at every hour. We record data, and then without explicitly telling how to identify patterns in that data, we created an algorithm which will automatically identify patterns in the data so that we no longer need to create all this endless list of rules, explicit rules to learn how to perform in the real world. So coming back to data model and training, so the data is what you record from. For example, for a robot, we might record the entire room with the ball being at different places and how to navigate and pick up the ball. So we train on this data and we end up with a model. The model can learn to pick up the ball without explicitly telling that they have to turn the right or left. It automatically figures out how to do it. So this is what AI is all about. AI is about automatically identifying patterns without explicitly telling that you have to do something in a particular way. Okay. So how is AI impacting your world? So probably you all know that AI is heavily impacting your world. Ever since ChatGPT came out, everyone is being impacted with AI, right? Before ChatGPT came, there was a there were a lot of attempts in building chatbot, but we were having fun with those chatbots. We were able to easily break those chatbots, and we thought that AI will never uh, live up to the expectations. And then ChatGPT came out. It broke all the misconception because it's not just a Q&A tool. You can do a lot of other stuff. You can do a lot of things like searching. It can help you in writing, brainstorming. It can even act on behalf of you. So I'm just scratching the surface, but there are endless possibility of what AI can do for you. So for example, take Google Photos. So Google is one of the companies which pioneered in using AI in every single app they brought in. So for example, in Google Photos, they brought in where you can easily remove the background of your photo, or you can easily cut and paste some pieces from the photo. So that is one of the earlier examples where AI was applied. Then you have translation, voice to text, text to voice, where AI had very good, decent success. Now we had much more better tools with ChatGPT and Gemini and many more tools. You can do a lot of stuff, not just text. You can do, for example, you can use tools like Firefly you can use tools like Firefly, which can help you to edit images using just prompts. Okay, so this is just one of the examples. There are hundreds of other tools. There are like voice generation tools or voiceover tools like Level Labs, Descript, which can give like human-like voice using AI. So you also have video generation tools like Canva, and we have much more other tools like, so for example, yesterday Google released Image and 4, which had even more realistic video generation capabilities. So all these tools are already impacting our everyday life. It's transforming how we operate and how we think in everyday life. So when it comes to learning AI, right? So I hope everyone is here to learn how AI, how they can learn AI in an easier way, right? So traditionally there are two ways to learn something, not just AI. Generically, there are two ways to learn something. One is a top-down approach, and another is a bottom-up approach. So in our education system all across the world, we mostly used bottom-up approach. So what is the bottom-up approach? You start with math, then you learn how to use that math to create formulas, theories, then you learn how to create algorithms, then you learn how to use that to create algorithms using programming languages. Then finally, the application layer comes. So going from math to the application layer is a big process. And no school or college teaches you how things like math are applied in everyday life. So, for example, to give an example, right? So, I learned calculus in my school and college. But when I learned, I had no idea why I'm even learning this because I never thought that calculus is being used in everyday life because no one actually know how to apply that into everyday life. And years later, I when I started learning AI, I figured out that calculus is actually being used in something called backpropagation. So backpropagation is an algorithm used in training neural networks, and these neural networks are actually what we use today for training all the LLMs. Okay, so if I had known that AI uses calculus, and if I had known back then that this is how math is being applied to real world, I would have, learned AI in a learned math in a much more passionate way. Unfortunately, today in our world, we don't have that kind of a system. It starts with theory, and no one really knows where this is being applied practically in a real world application. And then you come to the industry, and years later, you learn that, okay, then you connect the dots. Okay, this is why I learned calculus. This is why I learned geometry, right? So all of AI is actually, can be oversimplified. As an example, like y equals mx plus c. Every one of you would have learned this in your school, high school, at y equals mx plus c. So all of this AI started with this simple formula, y equals mx plus c. And it was amazing for me to learn later in my career that this simple formula, kickstarted all of this machine learning field and how simple things in math can be applied in real world. So this is a problem with bottom-up approach. We never understand why we do something. So we lose passion and students lose passion on why they learn math and why they do something. So this is why like most people don't like math. So the alternate way for this is to have a top-down approach in learning AI, right? So you start with application layer and not with algorithms or math. Okay. So you start with why. So there's a great book called Start with Why by Simon Sinek. I recommend everyone to read that book. So he explains all across the globe, we always tell how to do things, but we never teach people why it is done or what is done, right? We always start with how, but we never start with why. So that's a problem. We have to understand why something is done. If you know that, you will happily go back and learn the process. So, for example, to learn AI, what's the why, right? Why should you learn AI? You should learn AI because you can automate tasks, you can enhance your decision making, you can build smarter products, you can be more productive. These are the whys. So if you don't know the why, and if you blindly come in and learn AI, you probably don't have a end goal. So, and then the next step, what? So AI is like a very broad field. It has data, models, algorithms, inference, and it's all across different domains. And then finally, you learn how to do this. Okay. So you start with the application layers. You start using AI tools like ChatGPT, understand how ChatGPT and other AI tools can be helpful for you in everyday life and how you can be productive. So it's like an onion, right? So consider an onion. So you can unwrap an onion, peel off the layer, and you have another layer and another layer and so on. So you start with the application layer, master it, how to use AI tools. Then you go to the next layer. What's the next layer? learning Python or any programming language. You master Python, then you go to the next step. What's the next step? You understand the different frameworks, libraries used for building AI. Then you take the next layer. What's the next layer? Then you have algorithms, all these models called, so for example, GPT is an algorithm, right? Or you can call it as a model. So how does it work? It operates based on an algorithm. You learn the algorithm. Then you learn how this algorithm is transformed into code. Okay. Then you unwrap the final layer and you have math, right? So then you learn math. Then you will understand, okay, you have an application and you have to unwrap all the way down and end up with math. If you do like this, if you learn like this, you will retain concepts very clearly and you will understand things very clearly. So instead of doing this, we do it in the opposite way in schools and colleges. We start with math and we end up getting lost. So I would advise you to suggest you to start the reverse way, start with application, then go deeper and deeper and end with math. So all you have to do is to have a very curious mindset. So, for example, you can start using no-code AI tools like Comma, Firefly, Colab. So I'm just picking some examples. There are hundreds of other examples which can be used for a variety of purposes, whether it's slide preparation, spreadsheets, document preparation, or you need help in writing emails. There are tons and tons of tools which you can master and use it in your everyday life. Then you have tools like Google Colab, OpenAI Playground, Hugging Face Spaces. These are like one level uh, down where you have to write some simple codes and run the models and achieve your goals. Okay, this is one layer down. And you also have like multimodal tools like Luma, Agent, which can do like not just text, but also video, 3D generation, and other stuff. So always remember that you have to start playing first and then understand later. If you try to understand first and then try to play later, you will be, caught bored with all the boring math and the theories, and you'll never learn AI. So start with application, play it first, understand first, then go deeper and deeper and deeper, and that would be a much better process. So you know, as I said, start with let's jump straight into, practical work. Let's start creating a project. So how you can create a project, right? What are some of the ideas that I can? So you might be doing a lot of mundane, repetitive work in your work. So you can probably create AI agents to automate that. Or you can use tools like Tiffy, Flowise, Planflow, True AI. There are tons and tons of other tools, which I will cover later. You can use tools like computer use agents and automate stuff, or you can build simple personal agents, email summarizer, and stuff like that. So this is first half of the presentation where I'm explaining how to learn or how to launch your AI journey using a top-down approach. Now it's time to get down into more practical stuff. So let's, build an AI agent live. Okay, I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you how easy it is to build an agent. Okay, I'm going to show you three different frameworks using which how you can create different tools so that you can gain confidence on AI and start jumping into the field and start learning stuff. Okay, sharing my screen. Let me know once you're all. able to see the screen. Can you see my screen? Okay, so I hope you can see it. So the first AI agent that we are going to create is gonna be using a tool called tool called Note. Okay, Note is a browser using agent, which means just like we humans use browser, the AI is gonna open a browser and start doing something just like we do, browse the internet, do some stuff that we ask them to do, scrap information from the websites and give the final response. So all you have to do is you give a task to the agent and the agent will do that. How it will do? It will use browsers, internet browsing to to do that task. Okay. So this is one of the most simplest examples that I can teach you all uh, on how to create an agent. Okay, so it's using a library called Note. So I'm first creating a very simple agent, and then I'm giving a task to the agent saying that find the latest news about AI agents. Okay, and then I'm going to print the result in the terminal. Okay, so I'm gonna just go ahead and run this code, and you will see that it automatically opened my browser. It searched for latest news AI agent. Just note that I'm not doing anything. It's AI automatically going and navigating and collecting information for me. It was automatically controlling my browser. Okay, you can see that it automatically went to Google, typed latest news, AI agents, and it is doing the work for me. So you can see that with just 4 lines of simple code, I'm doing all of this. Okay, this is a very simple example of how you can create an agent and give a task to it and ask it to achieve stuff. Okay, so uh, were you did you able to see the browser that it used, or was it were you able to just see only my VS Code IDE? Okay, so let me share my whole screen so that you can see it clearly. All right, let me rerun the code so that you can see the AI picking up and automating the process. So I'm rerunning the code. I'm not doing anything else. Now you can see that the AI automatically opened Google and it searched for latest news on AI agents and it collects information for me. So I'm not doing anything. AI is doing stuff for me. Okay. So let's see what it does. You can also see the steps that it performs here. So it completed the task. So the task that we gave was find the latest news about AI agents, and you can see Google makes AI agent prototype available to US users, so it's YouTube, blah, blah, blah. So as you saw, our the most simplest agent with just 3 lines of code was able to perform this task. So this is just an example. I'm just scratching the surface. So now you can go ahead and play with this and do anything that you want, right? So you can tell anything to do. So you can tell find the latest, find the current weather in New York City, and Let's see how it performs. So it automatically when I opened Google search for weather and it's 13 degrees Celsius and it automatically scraps all the information that I need. And you can see here, it completed and says, I hope you can see now. So it automatically found that completed task. The current weather in New York City is 13 degrees Celsius with 45 percentage precipitation, right? So this is one of the simplest agents that you can ever create. And I would encourage you to start with something very simple like Note. There are other ways to create agents, but the reason I am asking you to start with something like Note is you can visually see how AI is performing the task. And then in your terminal, you can also see the steps that it is performing. You can also see the reasoning it does while performing every step. So that's the reason why I recommend doing this. Okay. Now, the second agent that I'm going to show you is using uh, using a framework called Strands. Okay, Strands is a open source AI agent framework which was actually built by Amazon and it was open sourced only last week. Okay, the good thing about this agent framework is you can use any models and you can create multi-modal models. Okay, and you can also create multi-agent models. So, for example, I'm creating a model. I'm using the Anthropic Claude model here, and I'm going to create three special agents. Okay, I'm going to create a research agent. I'm going to create an analyst agent, which analyzes the researcher's data points. And then finally, I have a writer agent, which analyzes the previous agent's input, and I get a final beautiful. Okay. So I create these three agents. As you can see, I'm just giving a very simple prompt and I'm assigning the model to here. Okay. And then I'm going to create a workflow. Okay. So what's the workflow? The workflow starts with the researcher. So the researcher will, given a topic, it will go and research on that topic. So for example, if I say, find the latest news about AI agents, it will research about the topic. Then that in output will be passed on to the analyst agent who will, do analysis on the data points, and then the writer agent will create a beautiful report. Okay. Now let's try running this agent and see how it performs. So note that the previous agent was something called browser using agent. So it opened a browser, performed tasks just like a human would. Here, it would not open browser or something like that, where everything happens behind the scenes. Okay, so on Kickstart, I'm running the code, and let's see how it works. So it's gonna take a while to do the research, and as you can see, I gave the task of finding latest news about AI agents. Okay, so let's see how it performs. Okay, so it started printing report the emergence of AI agents, executive summary, and it's giving a nice report, uh, giving the future implications, conclusion. Okay, so this simple code has three different agents all wrapped up in a workflow. And you can see that how easy today is it to create very complex agents like this. So this is an example. It's up to your imagination to create, multiple things like this. You can automate stuff that you do every day. You can do a lot of things. So I leave that to your imagination, how you can create agents using very simple framework like this and start getting the output that you want. Okay. So this is the second agent. The third agent that I'm going to show you is using Google ADK framework. Okay. So Google uh, brought in a framework called uh, Agent Development Kit, ADK, very recently. So this is also a multi-agent framework. You can do a lot of stuff using this framework, just like the previous Strands agent can do. Okay. So again, here it's very simple. I'm going to create an agent which is capable of going to Google and searching for some information. Okay. So the task that I'm going to give to the agent is find the latest news about Paracord AI, the company that I work for. Okay. And when I give this task, it's going to use a tool called Search Agent. Okay. Sorry, it's going to use a tool called Google Search. Okay. The Google Search is the same like the same Google search that we use every day. Just like if you go to google.com and search anything, the same thing can be achieved using this simple code. Okay. So I'm creating an agent saying that this is the name of the agent. I'm gonna use the Gemini model for that. And I'm giving a description for the agent saying that this agent can answer questions using Google search. Okay. And then I'm going to give the instruction saying that what this agent is capable of. The agent is capable of answering question by searching the internet, okay, and giving a description. So ignore all this information. You will come back. You can learn all this later on. So this is all the necessary pieces of code. You create an agent, then you call the agent and you send a query. Okay. Uh, so the good thing about the Google ADK framework is you can just go to terminal and type ADK web and press enter, and it's gonna create a UI for you to play around. Okay, so I'm gonna go to localhost 8000. Okay, and I'm gonna select the agent that I created. Uh, Click token streaming. Okay, now I can ask any questions. Uh, So I'm asking, like, for example, I'm asking what does art or AI do? And let's see what it says. So what it's gonna do is take the information, go to Google and start finding the information for you. So as you see, it found out correctly. It's a legal tech company doing these stuff. So you can ask anything like this. So what can, for example, let's say, what was uh, the latest news on agentic framework by Amazon. Okay, and it's gonna find the information for me. So you can see how easy it is today to create frameworks like this, right? It's very simple. So start with the application layer, master all the AI tools. Then you start with frameworks like this, play around with it. Don't ever think how this works. Just use it and use it for your everyday work. Make yourself more productive. Then you start going deeper and deeper and use the top-down approach to learn AI. Okay. Uh, so I'm actually gonna choose another agent, but that's gonna be your homework. Okay. So if you're interested, what you can do is after this webinar, create a note agent which will go to LinkedIn and post comments about this webinar and the things that you learn and use some hashtags and you can tag me. Okay, so this is going to be a very interesting agent that you are going to be creating. So what this agent will do is it will open LinkedIn, log into LinkedIn using your credentials. Okay, so you can give credentials here, but this is not secure. So we can use something called Vault. So you can enter your email and password in a ENB file and keep it safely. And then that information will be used to log into LinkedIn. And then you can create a post automatically based on the things that you give and post on behalf of you. Okay. You can post on X or any other social media. So I'm going to leave that as a homework to you if you're interested. Create an agent similar to this and post on LinkedIn and tag me. And I'll check out and post the code in GitHub. I'll check out the code personally and I will give my comments. Okay. I'm going to leave that as a homework to you. So I'm going to go back to the presentation. Uh, can you share the presentation, Divya? So, so that's the agent that we created. Now I'm going to give you some tips and pitfalls before you start your AI journey. Okay. So there are a lot of AI tools which can make you productive. So for example, there is a tool called Cursor, which is like an IDE, which can help you to create tool softwares in a very fast way. Okay. But as a student, beware that if you use tools like this, you will not actually learn anything useful. So at least in terms of learning programming and building apps, you understand at least the basics before you before you use tools like Cursor because it can generate codes for you, it can generate apps for you. But if something breaks, you will not understand how to fix it because you didn't have a good understanding of software engineering. So having a good software engineering understanding is very important. So just be beware of using AI too much while learning. So what are some of the I will cover some of the pitfalls and how you can overcome. So sometimes all this AI buzz, so every single minute there is a new startup, there are new tools, new products getting released every day. So you might be feeling overwhelming. So it's not just you, even me, everyone in the industry is feeling overwhelmed because it's too much happening in the field. So start tiny, start with very simple project, okay, and you start progressing slowly. And you might get imposter syndrome. Everyone has that. I had it. So it's not a problem. Don't be disappointed with it. Make sure that everyone, understand that everyone has to go through after a while. You can overcome it. Then you might lose motivation. Then in that case, you can do small things and celebrate the small wins so that you don't lose your motivation. And don't ever rely too much on AI tools for coding. Like don't use Cursor, ChatGPT too much. Just use it for as your helpers, but don't overuse it. Otherwise, you will not understand the basic stuff. So final tips on the growth mind and how you can have a growth mindset. Start small, stay curious, be consistent, and learn by doing. Okay, learn by building real world apps. Don't ever forget that. So I'm gonna give you a 90-day AI challenge, which I'm segmenting into three parts. Like in the first 30 days, you're gonna learn some basics and explore all the AI tools and master them. Then you're gonna build a simple AI project. So you learn, you go a level deeper and in your AI journey. Then I'm having a AI community, private AI community you can join, and you can post your projects and we can grow together. So this is a AI 19-day challenge. I'm gonna throw you up so you can post, come to LinkedIn, use the AI agent and post on LinkedIn about your everyday journey. And let's see how this challenge goes on. So finally, thank you everyone for joining this session. So if you want the 90-day AI challenge roadmap, please DM me on LinkedIn. So my LinkedIn URL is here, linkedin.com. You can just search me, Leslie Arun Franco. I will have my profiles. Send an invite to me. I'm happy to connect with you all and help you to learn AI and uh, help you to master AI and have a great career. So uh, very thank you to everyone for patiently listening to me. So if you have any questions, please shoot out to me. I'm happy to answer.
Thanks, Leslie. So your insights have been incredibly valuable to us. So there is one question: how do you differentiate between real AI and hype in the industry today?
Mhm. Okay. So most of the stuff that you see today is actually hype. And there are also a lot of people who uh, create, you know, create marketing buzzword and make you to fall into buying their courses or something like that. Most of these courses are like literally useless. They don't teach you anything useful. So don't fall into that. But coming back to your question on how to differentiate real AI and hype AI. So most apps are actually hype. So the way you can differentiate is if there is a product that you can try for free, go and try the product yourself. So for example, take ChatGPT. Everyone started using it and it got so popular that it was the most used software ever in the planet, right? So how did people started using more and more of ChatGPT? They thought it was hype, then they started using it, then they found that it was actually useful for them. It was not hype. It was able to actually help them in their everyday life, make them more productive, and that made sure that it was not hype and it was a real product. So similarly, you can go and most people they just share videos or demos in social media, and people just see the demo and they think that it's a great product, but in fact it would have been uh, nothing but just a wrapper. So one of the things that you can do is uh, go and play with the product yourself and see if it is really useful, if it really does things that they promise that the product does. So go and try that, and that is one of the things that you can do yourself to differentiate between real AI products and hype AI.
Thanks for sharing your insight on this question, and thank you for dedicating your time to support our community and growth. And for the joinees, thank you to everyone who have joined us today. Your presence was greatly appreciated. And goodbye and take care. And thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Leslie, for your time.
Yeah, thank you. I have shared my LinkedIn profile in the chat, so please feel free to send a connection invite, and I'm happy to connect with you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.